So dear Dhamma friends, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and focus your mind to this bell sound and follow the sound please. So while you following sound mentally, relax your body, relax your breathing and relax your mind. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So dear Dhamma friends, so before we start our session, it is better yourself understand how we practice this technique. So actually when we say technique, that doesn't mean you have to stuck to that. But in the beginning, to calm down your mind, you have to follow some disciplines. Because the very nature of the mind always go here and there. So in the very first level, we trying to calm down our mind, develop the tranquility state. But our main purpose is not just calming down the mind or taming the mind. Our main purpose is develop our mind to understand the clarity or the wisdom and see things clearly and recognize how things come to be as they are related with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind perceptions. Nothing else. Because that is your world. That is the world that we exist. That is the world that we create. That is the world that we go through. So then when you able to recognize that world very clearly, that your existence become very clear and you understand the very nature of yourself. Once you recognize the very nature of yourself, it will help you to get out of this all the mental formations or the sanskara or the mental tangles or the thoughts. So in the beginning, we're trying to bring our mind to tranquility state. Actually, the tranquility state, there are a lot of people when it comes to meditation, they think just calming down and sitting, closing their eyes is meditation. Actually, meditation, it's more deeply different in according to our Eastern culture, Eastern traditions. We follow two mental cultures we call samatha and vipassana. In samatha mental culture, more than tranquilizing the mind, more than calming down the mind, you develop mind, come to a point that non-distractions, you don't get disturbed out of the perceptions with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. It's nothing to do with the outside world. And sometimes we think When we sit for meditation, that other people should stop their working and stop that whatever their activities, and other people need to be calmed down. And if somebody meditate, if someone else doing some work, we kind of like look that person is doing something wrong. So like that. It's nothing to do with you and other people. It's nothing to do with you, your practice, and with other environment or the other things. So the very first thing that you have to come to knowledge, the samatha or the tranquility meditation means, because whatever the perceptions come to our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind, they are deeper, they are your consciousness, react to that. So you get into kind of a non-reactive method, knowingly. It is not kind of like a mesmerizing. It is not kind of like you getting dizzy. You, with just knowingly yourself, you don't react to whatever the information come to you. So that is where you develop non-distraction condition. And you get it at kind of like a preparation. So when you develop your mind in that level, and you make your mind usable, you make your mind available. That is something very important you have to think. So available means there is openness. And when we say not available, that means you have no access to that. So then our purpose is developing our mind to wisdom and to see things very clearly, how things come to be as they are. So in that tranquility state of the mind, you have to make it available to see that. Because if the mind is involving with something, if the mind is having kind of a connection with something else, that mind cannot observe. Why? Because the mind can involving with one thing, and then it going to go with it. It cannot have a kind of like a multitasking and thinking about something and focusing to something. You cannot do that. Mind can do only one thing at one time. So if the mind related with the past or the future go with any kind of attachment or the desires or the thoughts, whatever happened in your past or whatever going to happen in the future, or maybe in the deeper related with the deeper desires, whatever you want to become or whatever you want to reject, resist, that means mind involving in that. So with that condition of mind, you cannot see in this very moment. So that's why that non-distraction mind make you available to see things very clearly in this very moment. So the samatha meditation, tranquility meditation, or the chitta bhavana, this one-pointed meditation, allow you to make your mind usable to observe things very clearly. So that is the important thing with the tranquility state. So how you can get into that level? Just thinking itself, you cannot use your mind to make it usable. Why? Because the mind always use the mental formations, roots to go here and there. So then in the very first level, in tranquility state, basically, you have to rescue, detach your mind from your mental formations or the thoughts. So that is why you have to get into a primary mental object, because the mind, in the beginning, mind needs certain object to follow. So it's like newly born babies, when they cry, you give something to their hand and they feel more secure. or maybe you hold. So like that, for the mind in the beginning, you need something to focus. So when it comes to that, that's why as it called nimitta, primary mental object. So in tranquility state, there are 40 meditation techniques that you can follow as primary mental objects. But our purpose is go towards the vipassana. So for that, we give a primary mental object to help for this both samatha and vipassana. That primary mental object is inhalation, exhalation. And another thing is, when you observe this inhalation, exhalation, it's more easily, you get some extra benefit to calm down your mind. Why? Because inhalation, exhalation directly connect with your nerve system. And inhalation, exhalation directly connect with your brain, mental activities. When you observe the very nature of inhalation, exhalation, that observation itself help you to calm down very easily. And that observation itself help you to recognize the very nature of the mind. And that help for you when you observe the 5 aggregates also. So that's why when you observe the inhalation, exhalation, you can get a lot of benefit out of it to go to vipassana. So how we do this? So in the beginning, there are certain protocols that you have to follow, that you cannot do the way that you want. That is what the very nature of us. So then we trying to cut down that nature and develop something else. So that's why we practice. Otherwise, you don't need to practice. So in the beginning, just observe the inhalation, exhalation separately. Remember that. In the beginning, just observe inhalation, exhalation separately. It's like when you start driving, you know, that the very first time when I get into the car, my inspector told me that remember one thing in the beginning, before, so we use the auto, you know, so your right leg, never put it to gas. Your right leg, use it to brake. So always remember to use the brake with your right leg first when you get into the car, and check that, not the gas. So that is the very first thing. So it is a, you know, you must, that you cannot go thinking, oh, I am a good driver. Just once you get into the car, you cannot push the gas. You cannot do that. So same thing when it comes to meditation. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do, you know, and when it comes to especially tranquility meditation, the very first thing, remember, to detachment is an art. You have to practice it. Sometimes we think, oh, we know, I can detach anything. You know, just try to even forget about, you know, the mind, this unseen mind, like, you know, that we cannot see. It's kind of like a ghost inside. We don't know where it is. You think you can do that, but you cannot. So that's why you have to stay in the path in the beginning. That's why you need practice. And sometimes you think, see, that maybe phone number and maybe some email address, somebody say over the phone, or maybe you meet somebody and you heard the phone number or the email address or something, or address, and you feel, oh, I can remember that very easy. In that very moment, you feel that you can do that. So you think you're going to remember that. It is very easy. And then you don't write it. You leave it and you think, oh, I remember that. And then after 1 hour, the person goes, and then you start to get into something else, and you keep working, and then later you try to remember the phone number or the email address or the address. You don't know, you forget. But in the moment you heard, you didn't think that you're going to forget it. So that's the very nature of mind. So then yourself, remember, when it comes to meditation, that's why we need to follow the technique mostly in the beginning, especially in tranquility state, and to have a very good tranquility state of mind. And once you get into the tranquility state, samadhi, the non-distraction mind, and then from that moment to moment, anytime you can get into that. Then you no need to follow this all. But in the beginning, remember, to get into that, same like once you get into the car, the very first thing, put your leg to the brake, not to the gas. So like that, in the beginning, observe inhalation, exhalation separately. So that's a very simple thing. Just you don't go, then your mind become more relaxed and calm, because you know what to do. That calmness allow your mind to relax and keep focus, keep focus. So in the beginning, you observe inhalation, exhalation separately. And while you observing this, then your mind become calm down, body become relaxed, and then at the same time, breathing become more soft and relaxed. And then you get into some comfort zone. So then don't settle down there, bring little bit more effort from inside to observe deeply. Otherwise laziness can arise. So that then the next step, that inhalation, exhalation, when it happens, observe the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. The entire breath body. The breath body means, it's like when it comes to this, the breath body means from beginning to end, this entire whole, the inhalation or exhalation from beginning, middle, end, knowingly, the observe entire continuation. So that is a moment that your mind become more sharp and stay in the present moment. And your mind, when your mind become disciplined to be with that, and naturally you finding a way to settle down with the moment. And then still that there is inside deeper that we have this resistance or the go against and or kind of like a make things change, that nature, and adjust things according to the way that we comfortable. It's a very natural. It's like when you are sleeping, and sometimes your body natural itself adjusts think without thinking. Even when you are sit somewhere, you find the kind of like comfort. You resist certain things. So it is in our body, but it is inside our mind also. When you observe inhalation, exhalation, there are certain that the thought arise related with the inhalation, exhalation. In the third level, some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. So you accept it. You don't select, you don't go with certain ways. You just accept it without resisting anything. And that is make a huge difference inside you. It kind of like come to a point completely you become neutral and you don't resist anything. And that neutral mind help you to become more aware. So that's how in the beginning you develop the tranquility state when you observe the inhalation, exhalation. Otherwise just closing your eyes and sitting there, it doesn't make any sense. So deeply you have to go step by step in the beginning. If you are well-known practitioner and if you know how to do things, it's okay. Then you can go and do practice yourself. But if you're trying to get into tranquility state, if you try to develop your samadhi, so this information will work. So Once you get into the tranquility state, that your mind not going to disturb you, the mind settle down, and then if the sometimes thoughts come different ways, and that everything will settle down. Now you are well balanced with the inhalation exhalation in the present moment, and in that moment sometimes deeply the emotions arise, and still you can stay without reacting to that. The pleasure arise, joy arise, still you able to maintain your tranquility state just with the inhalation exhalation. Be very limited to be available only for inhalation exhalation, that's it. Be very available that only for inhalation exhalation, not anything else. So then from there, once the mind settled down in that tranquility state, and we go to vipassana level of practice. So in the vipassana level, so what is the difference in the vipassana? So in the vipassana level, that you observe the inner reaction. When something happens, when something feel, what is that? And how your inside react to that? What is happening? So within your consciousness, that the cognitive change, and within your thoughts and emotions, this all you observe without reacting and recognizing what is happening there. So the change means impermanent, mean that it is not this outside world impermanent. The recognizing the impermanent within yourself is the real self-realization. So how you do that? So in the beginning, in the tranquility state, we observe the inhalation, exhalation, and go with all the outside information, but details. But in here, in the Vipassana level, you observe the 5 aggregates: form, feeling, sensation, formations, consciousness. So the form is itself your inhalation, exhalation. Keep it the same mental object. So when the inhalation happens, in the beginning we went with the outside, the inhalation, exhalation, beginning, middle, end, and long, short, so like that. Now you drop that all the information. So you observe when the inhalation happens, how you feel it. See, now you shift to the inside feeling. So when the inhalation happens, observe how you feel. That what is how you feel as inhalation. And when you recognize that, you see in that feeling it itself changing. It is not you doing, or not anybody else from outside or from the middle doing that change. Itself it's happening. And when exhalation happens, see that whatever you felt when inhalation happens, completely different when the exhalation happens. So recognizing that change bring you some wisdom. And not only the feeling, then following that feeling deeply, maybe in the beginning you don't see it, but there's a sensation arise. Observe it very carefully, first the feeling, and then you will see deeply, little by little, when the mind settle down and the sensation also change. And not only that, following that sensation, thoughts change. So, and following that thoughts, entire this connection, that the whole consciousness, understanding, everything change moment by moment. Your mind change moment by moment. Observer also change moment by moment. What you observe, it change itself, and following that, observer also change according to the object. So, so this connection, you observe again and again without reacting to it. So that is the vipassana. So observing the change of these 5 aggregates. You don't need to intensely think about change. No, you observe and see. If you see it is solid, you have to accept it as solid. But if you see it is change, then you recognize it as a change. And then moment by moment, and go with its own nature, and then you will see little by little, little by little, rather than reacting to this outside world, you recognizing again and again. When you go with this, you start to see more clearly your mind. So the purpose of vipassana, the recognizing the very nature of the mind, is the most important. And once you know that the very nature of your mind and how it works moment by moment, and there is the wisdom arise related with that recognition. So to get into that is, we try this all. So then yourself again and again with the effort inside you, because in the beginning you need some water. You have to take care of this yourself, and you cannot sit and just allow it to happen itself. No, you have to have some effort. You have to observe it and bring your attention to that, and keep going little by little, little by little, without giving up. Okay? So let's practice a little bit. So settle down yourself with your posture, and your right palm on your left, and neck get straight in one line, and be comfortable with your sitting. If you are comfortable, and close your eyes gently, please. Focus your mind to head to toes, and say Swapateva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. And take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that wisdom in this moment with this sitting. May my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we are spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories, and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation. So in the beginning, we're going to relax our body step by step, and bring your attention to the lower part of your body. And observe any sensation. If you feel tightness, heaviness, heat, contact with the cushion or the sheet, just get a mental note. No need to resist, no need to adjust yourself. Just let it be. But get a mental note. Be aware. and your lower back, and your upper back and shoulders, and arms, elbow, forearms, palms, fingers, fingertips. Chest and your abdominal area. And your neck and head. And bring your attention to your whole body and feel your whole body as one. Bring your attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times. And find the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation. And allow your inhalation, exhalation to happen itself. And when it happens, recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. Do nothing extra. Follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. Observe the very nature of the inhalation, exhalation. Some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. Just recognize it and accept it. So let go all the details related to the inhalation, exhalation. Just follow the feeling, sensation, formations or thoughts and your awareness. And see how the feelings change moment by moment. And stay with it. Bring your attention to your body and observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe, and as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding yourself like this with clear intention. Mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. So visualize yourself and send it as a light forward to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. to all 6 directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So dear Dhamma friends, when it comes to this our meditation practice, so meditation itself doesn't mean that take you to a different kind of level to have a very comfortable environment like a pure land. Sometimes people ask, when they practice meditation, they believe that everything going to go away, that all the unnecessary things will disappear. It's not going to happen, because what you practice as meditation going to develop your awareness and prepare your mind for any condition. So we have no power over these worldly conditions, and even never try to get into any idea to change the worldly conditions. Even ourselves don't get into idea of changing your bodily conditions even. Don't try to go against the nature. We cannot do it. It is become only a struggle. So it is better you develop a mind. The true wisdom means you understand the very nature of the world, and you start to go with it without resistance. So otherwise, if you develop certain conditions, mental versions, it should be like this should be like this, like that, it's going to become itself a struggle inside your mind. The struggle only we have in our mind, not in even this outside world. Look, that the world is like, see how it go with the nature, and it go with the seasons, it go with the situations. It has a way to balance itself. But ourselves, all the struggle in our mind that we hold, and always keep bringing it up. It doesn't matter even whatever happened 10 years back, 20 years back, and it can bring it up that moment to inside you, and you suffer more than that 10 years ago, maybe more. You suffer today, and you struggle today with that situation. But if you able to go with the time, go with the flow, go with the situations, and then today you have a different mind. So when it comes to meditation, the very first quality that you gain, remember, you're not going to struggle with whatever happening or whatever happened. you become more humble and you become more flexible to accept it. Because remember, these all thoughts, there's nothing else. Everything thoughts. So when it comes to self-realization, you understanding how this thought happening. The life is kind of like a mental game in another way. But we don't try to manipulate our mind. We don't try to condition our mind. And we don't try to mesmerize our mind. We just try to allow it to happen itself and settle down to its own nature. So the mind is very kind of like water. If you struggle, it becomes busy. But if you're able to let it settle down, and it's going to calm down. When the water calm down, you can see through it. The mind the same. When the mind calm down, you able to see through it. When you able to see through your own mind, your perspective, your reactions completely become different. Why? Because now you see clearly. And when you see clearly what is underneath, you don't make mistakes. But mostly when we have busy mind, when we suppress our mind, when we push our mind, when we hold, control our mind, when we kind of abuse our mind with thoughts, with the desire, when we accelerate our inner desires, what is happening? Your mind becomes busy with a lot of thoughts. When the mind becomes busy with a lot of thoughts, you cannot see your own mind. And once you cannot see your own mind very clearly, you just go with the surface level of thoughts. And you come with mistakes. When you make mistake, it disturbs you. It affect for your self-confidence. It affect for your self-abilities. It affect for your self-responsibilities. So when you develop the self-awareness with the clarity, that clarity itself take you out of mistakes. When you get out of the mistakes, it brings you the confidence regarding the moment, regarding your own mind, regarding your own life. That confidence is very necessary to go forward even in the conventional life or even in the spiritual life. So that's why we put the foundation even for the conventional life or even the spiritual life. The first foundation we have to put the discipline. So the discipline means you get out of unnecessary actions and then you don't make mistakes. So you become very limited. You're not going to be available for anything. So that is a very good quality that you can, if you can develop, even physically, you not become available for anything, even for yourself. I'll give you some technique to yourself, practicing day-to-day life. So when you sit for meditation, the posture is a kind of like you develop a self-discipline with your posture. You're not going to be available for all other feelings. Because the feelings arise. It's like wind. The emotions arise, it's like wind. There's no reason sometimes. It just arises, thought just arise. And deeply, sometimes we cannot see the mental formation, just the surface level. It's like the waves. But don't be available for all the thoughts, even for all the feelings. As example, when you sit, you don't move. And then, but you feel like you want to move, but you don't do it. It is not like you kind of like become develop a kind of military patrice. It is not like that. You understand it unnecessary. So you keep that awareness. You're not controlling. You're not pushing and holding. You just recognize it is unnecessary, and you put value on your practice, and you direct the feelings towards the more important thing than just reacting to feelings. And then you bringing a value to your own practice. And as example, even that there is something that in front of you, you feel like it. You are not available for that if you are not hungry. So maybe there's a drink to, that's available that for you, but you no need to be available for that. And there are some places you see it's available, but you no need to be available for outside world like that way. Even for your emotions, maybe it is available for you, but your awareness, you no need to be available for that if it is unnecessary. Even that, that's why when it comes to the self-discipline, that behaving yourself, and sometimes, people shaking their legs, moving their hands, and touching their body, their head, their ears, their face. And nowadays, see, it say, don't touch your face. And but sometimes, people just, they touch themselves. So you come to a point, your hand is not available for your face. If it is necessary, then okay. But just, as a habit, people do like this, and some people even put the fingers inside the nose. No, you don't do that. And sometimes they put the fingers inside their ears. You don't do. You are not available for that. So you develop a self-discipline with that. That even though you feel like to do that, don't be available. And that's mentally, you develop a good discipline inside you. You feel like you want to do something, but it's not kind of like a profitable for anybody. So if you just do it, what's the point? Then maybe that doing going to bring kind of like a reactions. Then you have to keep going. There's no end. But in that very moment, if you able to allow that moment to settle down, that is a very good skill that you develop, rather than go with the feelings or the desires or the emotions or the mental formations. Allow it to settle down. It's going to settle down. And if there is necessary that you have to do, if it is profitable, it is good for you and good for others, and with the effort, maybe you have to move forward and do it. But mostly, when it comes to just ordinary life, we spend so much energy and we burn, it's kind of like 2,000, 3,000 calories for a day, unnecessary sometimes. So you can become busy without getting any profit. Even you going around your own house, you can become busy, but it doesn't bring anything unless if you want to walk and get exercise yourself. But otherwise you can become busy. So like that, sometimes we spend hours, 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 and after that we recognize this is useless. No point. So then remember, there are a lot of things available for you, and it has a catch you don't see. That's why it is available. But yourself, you no need to be available. And so it is your own responsibility. And when it comes to meditation, deeply we practice within our own mind, with our own feelings, and with our own desires. And once you're able to maintain it and recognize this art within yourself, this outside world that you see, even though world is available for things, if it is not necessary, you are not available for that. And that brings you calm, relaxed, comfortable life for yourself deep inside you. Maybe outside you feel, you see that it is so busy, but deeply you resonate, you develop inside you, within yourself. That is what you need to get in the first level, because it is very necessary for all the people. Because in the, going with this outside world, just because of the outside available, and you going to that, and it it uh, it it doesn't make any profit end of the day. You have to pay somehow, in a different way, maybe. Then nowadays you see that there are places, they say, because for a while they used to close, now it's open, or you know it's available for eating, it's available for takeaway, so like that. But remember, you have to pay for that. In this our life, have you ever thought what you paying? Maybe there is something available that you go for that. Have you think the what you paying back for that? Maybe you see something open, and maybe there is a place open, maybe there is a heart open. It is available as a relationship. Maybe there is a, the opportunity open. But have you think how you going to pay for that? So maybe that when you're going to pay, it become huge than you think. And sometimes you go to places and you eat, and then when the final, the bill, the check come, you see, oh, it was this much, we did it this much, it's so expensive. When you see the bill, when you go short menu, that one by one, you don't see that when it collect at everything, and with the service charge and tax and everything, and you're going to get this, the huge bill. And then you keep ordering, oh, it's okay, it's this much, you keep ordering. And then, but when everything collected and the total amount come, your eyebrows go up. How it happen? So in the life also the same, deeper inside us also the same. So our with the desires, our with the emotions, our thoughts, the same. So then yourself, and always remember that having that the discipline life, and that's mean allowing to settle down. It is not resistance. Oh, I don't do this, I don't do that. It's not like that. You become matured. When you become matured with the life, that you don't practice kind of like oh, I don't like, I don't do this. You don't resist that like that way, but you don't go for it. It's like toys, when you become matured, when you see toys, you don't reject it. And at the same time, you don't go for it. And it is there. You allow it to, it is for children. You don't fight with that, and you don't go against it because you don't want it anymore. No, it is for children. You'll just leave it there. And you are now more matured within yourself. So try to bring that development to inside your mind also. Don't get into a list kind of like, oh, I don't do this, I don't do this, I don't do this, like that. Don't always resist. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. That struggle can maybe blow out and you don't see, and slowly it go through different way. And you get into, you stuck with something and maybe you cannot get out of it. And because the resistance, the not doing list is so high, and then one thing you get and then you done. That all the pressure you releasing through something very simple. And then people come and ask, oh, that he don't do this, she don't do this, that. But how is that able to, she going to do this? So like that. So, but anyway, just try to, it doesn't matter whatever, relax your mind, let it calm down. No need to go towards, or no need to hold it, or no need to resist it. So that is the tranquility of quality of the mind. That is the tranquility meditation. You don't push too much, or you don't resist. You allow. So mentally, you when you practice it, naturally you able to apply it with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind perceptions. So that is the art you have to get. Allowing thoughts to settle down, not to go with it or not to resist it. Just let things to be. Just let it be. And don't try to divide it, oh, this is good, oh, this is bad. But in the outside, of course, we have to go with that sometimes. But getting in the first level, try to get it as a mental quality. So you yourself personally be released from that all. It's same like allow that toys, candies. You allow it, it's nothing harm for you. And it's not going to bring any credit to you, but you allow it. It is not for you. That's it. Maybe people do things, but you understand it. It is not for you. You're not going to go against it, and you're not going to cheer it. It is not for you. You are not available. Maybe it is available for somebody. It is okay. But you are not going to be available for that. So then always remember, look yourself for which direction you are available, for which things you are available. And even your own thoughts, or for your own feelings, remember, it's you are not going to be available for that. So that's way, little by little, even when you sit for the posture, whatever the feelings come, you are not available for that. Thoughts come, you are not available for that. So staying with what available, and what you are available for, what, and what is available for you is the tranquility state you finding for the inhalation, exhalation. So inhalation, exhalation available for you. That's why you experience the life. And just be available, your conscious, make it available for inhalation, exhalation. And then you will see in that connection, You allow everything to settle down and no struggle. In that very moment, in that tranquility state of mind, you find the peace, harmony yourself. That is more beautiful, and that is worth for you and for all the human beings. That is one of the most secure place, and that is one of the most comfortable place to get in. So that's why again and again and again, just try to yourself to, you have husband, wife, children, friends and family members, you work and you have to do other things, and but this everything, not your life. Don't make it your life. You do that necessary things, responsibilities, but don't make it your life. If you make it your life, if you available for that, even though that thing's available for you, one day you're going to be unhappy. It's going to happen. It is not even one time, again and again and again and again, that this samsaric journey is going to go away. But so yourself, when things they are, you do your best, but yourself be available for to be calm, relaxed and comfortable, rather than grasping, holding, clinging. So that way you will see. One day Buddha and Venerable Ananda had a journey to one temple to another place. On the way, that he got a little bit tired and then sat under a tree. And then the Buddha mentioned to Venerable Ananda, his personal attendant, monk, told the Buddha needs some water. Go and find some water. So then the Venerable Ananda went, and close by there was a river, and went to that river and saw the water was so muddy because the 500 bull cart went through that river, and all the muddy that came up, and the water is not usable, cannot drink in that moment. And he came back and told to the Buddha, "Oh, Venerable Sir, there is water, but we cannot use it. It's so muddy." So Buddha said, "Just sit, wait a little bit. Let's rest." And after like half an hour, and then in the Buddha mentioned again to Venerable Ananda, "Ananda, now go and bring water. Go and see." And he went with the bowl, and he saw the water was so clear. And he brought the water, and it can drink now, very clean. And Buddha mentioned the mind also like that, and sometimes it become busy with our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, with the environment, with other people's behavior, with other people's attitude, with the this up and down things in the world. And sometimes our mind become like the river that went through the all the 500 bull cart went through and bring all the muddy up, and that mind is not usable sometimes. So if you allow your mind to settle down, just relax, let it settle down, it become usable. So that's why in the beginning I mentioned the tranquility meditation means, the samatha meditation means you make it usable. So without make it usable, don't be available, because if so, you're going to have many difficulties in your life. So it doesn't matter whatever the condition, the very first thing, be that usable yourself, be very clear with the mind, let things to settle down, make it usable, and then select what you need and be available for that things in your life. And that way you make a very safe, very comfortable, very clear journey ahead within yourself. And one day that journey will take you to liberation. So with that, I bless upon with this all the good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi dīghāyuko bhava. Ettavata ca ammehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahangotu. Sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.